Hello, everyone. So, as you've been following along, you know that we've been giving you little golden nuggets as we have been giving you more information about the myBlock platform. So, as you know, it's going to be launching right around the corner here, and it's hard to dispute that the myBlock model is different and special in the tokenized real estate space. So, you have things like the digital asset treasury, the trophy properties, lots of really cool things that set it apart. So today I want to actually get into the roadmap and how they're going to execute today and in future phases. So let's break it down. Hello, welcome back to A Day on myBlock. I'm Jen Day, and today we're going to get a little bit more onto the real estate side of this. So, with myBlock, there are many actions that are going to be provided that are needed for a traditional real estate transaction. So, things like actually finding the property. Most people go on Zillow and search, well, what property is going to be a good deal? Then you want to make sure you have your money. You got to go to the banker or the mortgage broker and get your pre-approval. You actually get an offer. You're talking to the agents, you're, negotiating, then you're going to go in escrow and try to make this deal happen, right? So you need an inspection. You need an escrow officer to handle everything. You need a title company. So there's all these checks and balances that are going through, but what myBlock is bringing is going to be different and specifically automating a lot of these things. So I have with us Ty and Mark. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for
Great to be
having
here.
us. And yeah, you went, keep going. You nailed it. I don't
Well,
even know why Mark and I are here.
well, we want to get into the details of it. So if you
Yeah.
guys can open that up and talk specifically about what myBlock is bringing today and also in the future.
Okay. Well, from a Mark, it's okay if I go for a second on
Yeah.
just to kind of maybe emphasize what Jen just said, but what we have to remember is today there's a lengthy process, and Jim went through the basics of you have your money, you look for places, and how you do that today is more and more automated, as we know. Um, and then you kind of go into you make the offers and then you purchase, right? And so that is going to change over time when it comes to, let's say, residential. But on the commercial side, what myBlock will be offering is even the other portions of that behind the scenes. After you get an offer accepted, you go into escrow, you do your basics of your due diligence, right? You have to do your inspections, you have to make sure that the forensic accounting, I'll call it, right? You have to go through all of that. So there's a lot there that has to happen. Now, if we go to what myBlock will be delivering today, is we are basically, you go straight to a site where you can purchase, let's just call it a commercial property. You go to myBlock, and then all that information is already done for you, meaning that the forensic accounting, the inspections, we're going to take care of a lot of that up front for you from the buyer perspective. Because when the seller puts it on myBlock for sale, we need to make sure that everything is there. So when you hit and you buy your piece of the pie, that when your tokens come across, you know for sure that that's a solid property, that the due diligence has been done. And that's what myBlock will be providing. We will be providing trust, right? That's going to be the number one factor. Plus, we have the expertise to take a look at a building to make sure that it's solid and the rents that are coming in are really coming in, and there is no deferred maintenance and things like that. So we're kind of taking that off the table for the buyer per se, and the proof will be in the pudding because that will be our job. So we're not really here to go through too much of that. I know some folks listening that will be a bit of an education because there are certain steps, and it's not to go through it today in detail because a lot of that will be handled on the smart contracts. But what's more important to me is how this will be educated, how this will be automated over the next few years. Now, Mark and I, there's sometimes when we disagree on the speed of what's coming, right? Mark is more bullish on things that he thinks are going to happen in the next 2 to 3, 4, 5 months. I think it may be the next 12 to 18 months. But from an automation standpoint, we already know that there are AI agents coming sooner rather than later that will be handling your money, that will be, basically rubber stamping or pre-approval or your down payments or things like that. We already see it today with agents. That's a no-brainer. But the due diligence and all that, I think that's a little bit ways away. Anywhere between 12 to 24 months, maybe longer. But that's what will be doing, Mark, from an automated standpoint, bringing the buyer and the seller together and making it much easier for the buyer when they show up. Their only mindset to them is, do I want to own a piece of this property? And is it valuable? Am I buying it for a good price? So I do get the rise, I get the appreciation, and I get everything that comes along with owning a commercial property, right? Or a property that produces income. Think of like an Airbnb type of single family residence, or a house that's maybe a little bit more like a hotel, but it has substantial income annually. So after all of that, and I maybe rambled a little too long on that for you because I know you want to talk about automation. What questions or statements would you like to make regarding automation and those processes?
I would add only 2 points. One is in phase 2 of myBlock's roadmap that they're going to bolt on an Oracle to the platform. By Oracle, I don't mean Larry Ellison's company. I mean, I mean
Became
an
the richest
Oracle.
man in the world today for like an hour.
You sure did, which greatly informs some of the points that you just made. Um, an Oracle, in the context of blockchain, performs a simple task. It takes information from the real world, puts it on the blockchain. So, chain of title is a great example. We're going to bolt an Oracle onto the myBlock platform so that human beings are now removed from the equation, and the Oracle goes and looks up chain of title, verifies it, puts it on the blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The second point I would make is that in phase 3, we're going to add AI agents. And the steps that Jen and Ty just enumerated and walked us through, imagine that it's no longer performed by human beings. It's performed by AI agents and agentic framework. And my crystal ball says that we're going to put that Oracle on in phase 2 in maybe month 6 after we launch. And we'll put the AI agents in place summer of 2026, phase 3.
Okay, so from a title perspective, escrow perspective, and that to me the escrow piece is just instantaneous. It'll be more the title perspective where I'm thinking more a year, you're thinking more 6 months. Um, everything that you tell me always turns out being right. I'm always wrong. So maybe I'm just too conservative on some of this stuff, but hey, if it happens in 6 months, it makes it a cleaner, quicker version of myBlock in 6 months versus 9 months from now. It will evolve. It's an evolution during this great revolution, right? And so when you look at it like that, what you're talking about, I guess the most important thing what you're talking about to me, Mark, when I hear that is like more of a traditional, real estate person, is that your way, the automated way that's coming and coming quickly is a much easier, more inviting, more friendly user experience to own property. And it's not just, the wave of the future. It's happening and it's happening now, but it will be the great equalizer, and it will be able to, people will be able to purchase real trophy properties and have ownership in them, and it's accessible. And I love it because we're breaking down the walls. It's no longer for just the super elite rich. It's almost like and I always go back to sports a lot. Okay, it's kind of like the Green Bay Packers or what the Boston Celtics used to be. They were owned by the community, kind of, right? I think the Celtics were traded as a stock, and maybe the Packers are, maybe they're not. But I believe that the big chunk of the Green Bay Packers are owned by the public, right? And so when you look at it like that, they broke down walls. And it's kind of interesting that those are two uber successful franchises, right? Because, the public had a hand in it. It's a beautiful thing. And I see this opening this up to the planet. I love it. Everyone has access. And I love the fact that we're leading the charge on this. And I also love the fact that we're not first, we're not second, we're not even third or fourth, but the way we're coming at this and some of the higher end properties that we're bringing to the market will get people excited and to say that they own this, they own a piece of it. So pretty cool stuff.
So if I could just summarize,
sure.
I think the main point that you guys have been driving in is the word automation. And so what I'm hearing for myBlock, when you launch, you're going to have a lot of these pieces that usually are a lot of people and very time consuming. It's going to be automated initially, and there's going to be people behind it. So at the launch, you're going to have your team, Mark and Ty, you guys are going to make sure that all of these pieces of the transaction are basically either already handled or handled very quickly. And the consumer, the person investing in to a specific property or multiple properties can feel confident because all of these things are going to be already legitimized. You're going to already have that confidence that those things are taken care of initially by other humans. And then Mark, to your point, this is going to be automated by AI agents and software, and you're going to have an Oracle bolted on to the platform, and you're going to have all of these added pieces that just make everything happen very quickly. So to summarize, myBlock is got it handled for whoever wants to buy into this, which I think is amazing. So we're gonna stop it there and come back for more in a little bit. As I mentioned, we're gonna keep giving you guys golden nuggets. So thank you, Ty and Mark, for being here, and we'll see you guys on the next one. I'm Jen Day saying good day and good night.
Thank you, Mark.